This is kind of an updated build of a Shattered deck tech on Friday. The build was looking pretty different. I think they had repeal, they had offer you can't refuse. For some reason, they're only playing 3 Song of Creation. They weren't playing the Springleaf Drum Memnite Ornithopter package, which I think is really important. But the general idea is the same. Um, the general idea of the same. You're mostly a Song of Creation combo deck that is also using Narset as like a mini Song of Creation that lets you just go like really early, dump your hand, refill your hand, and then potentially doing it again the next turn. And then where you're dumping your hand, refilling your hand, you can also just win with weapons manufacturing without Song of Creation too. And we're also just playing. We're playing 4 Claws of Gix. We're playing 4 explosives. So you still have some of like the smaller manufacturing plans where you're just like turning everything into a shock. But the win con for the most part is you go Song of Creation, and then you play your deck, and then you get you play 2 Mox Opals, or you go like your extra land from Song of Creation plus Mox Opals, and then you just blow up all of your artifacts from weapons manufacturing, and you can play manufacturing also as part of these loops usually. Um, and so I didn't feel like I you need the repeal. The repeal can maybe be sometimes important if you're missing a mana. I didn't find that to be a factor very often. And it feels really nice to have the deck just be like to have 26 zeros in your Narset song manufacturing build is really really nice. Um, I did for a little bit try Mox Jasper plus the 1 mana 1/1, but I didn't like that one so much. So do you think you have to mulligan pretty aggressively for one of your payoffs? Narset's one of the better ones, of course, because you just get to dump and refuel. Maybe I want to keep Midnight for Drum. So I'm gonna try to surveil into a 0. Is the mana base too side to include sagas? Yeah, I think our Narset. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but I think our Narset Song of Creation 18 land deck cannot really support or the Saga no. Right, 0. We have a lot of zeros. Okay, there we go. So despite our mull to 5, we're about to draw 4 cards. No, we lost the 4-1, so we're 7-3 overall with the Domain Zoo. Draw 4 turn 2. And then there's our Song of Creation with the ability to pop off with it next turn. All right, Vex, another million point redemption today. Very cool. Congrats. Although no more VIPs, so you have to unfortunately be a lowly mod. Bloodstained Mire. Taps for red, then cracks the mire. They play a Row. Cool. So Storm combo mirror to start today. Looks like we're gonna be winning the first one. So like in my experience playing, I didn't come close to bricking with like far fewer resources. So I guess hold on, wait. We only have 2 Mox Opals left, but we still have 2 land drops to play, which is enough to play manufacturing plus both opals. Um, we do need to play the manufacturing sooner rather than later, of course. We have 2 land drops to hit. So if I guess if one of the Mox Opals is in the bottom 3, we brick. Or bottom 2 rather. Yeah, bottom 2. Okay, it's more and more likely every time we don't draw another opal. Oh, sorry, we have ambers. We have a Narset in play. We have 2 ambers in the deck, so we're gonna be fine. Should not be possible. Have I considered Noxious Revival? I haven't really thought too much about Noxious Revival. It could be fine to play. One to go up on the mana. I didn't really have a problem hitting a density of mana when I was playing it off stream, so I felt like it was good to just have like be really focused on the good zeros, but and the artifacts for the manufacturing. But it's possible you want to play like one. Wait, GG. His deck is also very funny to just like spend all of this time making all these zeros and then just destroy all of them. Okay, so we're up a game against Storm. They're not going to have Storm lock pieces in their deck, probably. I guess a Tormod's Crypt is probably a little bit better than some other options, like a Claws of Gix. I think bringing in the Prismatic Endings on the draw is actually probably still good, though, so that we can like kill a Mana Rock or a Ruby Medallion or something and then get them. Could maybe cut up Manufacturing, too, and just play like one more Claws for higher artifact count. That seems fine. Finally left my horrible job so I can watch again. Love the content. Please brew a Smallpox deck again. I'll brew Smallpox again if Song of Creation ever, if Boros ever becomes less popular. Well, I'd love to draw a Springleaf Drum and then have a turn 2 kill. Although I think instead now I'm going to go ahead and deploy the weapons on turn 1. When you play the weapons on turn 1, then your ability to combo kill is really increased. Although I guess I should have played the Crypt too. I was kind of thinking that they're not very likely to try to go off on turn 2, but and I want to hold the 0 to like maybe top deck Boros Charm. So we could get a little weird, and we could do something like play Explosives on 0, play Mox Amber, and play Tormod's Crypt, and then we can kill both of their creatures. Let me see if my top card is a land to just try to combo kill them next turn. It is. So yeah, I think instead of doing that, I'm just going to hold up Tormod's Crypt because we know one of their cards is Past in Flames. So I think we just kind of need to say, let's hope this Tormod's Crypt holds, and then we can combo kill next turn if it doesn't. They Graveyard Glimpse, so they probably need rituals. There's a Manamorphose. Thoughts on Leave Chance? Okay, repeal, rechance, retract. People, okay, repeal might be okay, but retract is like the kind of card that people like think is good in these builds, but it just doesn't make any sense. It's like Explosives just seems to be like infinitely better almost. Channel keeps a card on top. They find a ritual and they find a land. It's like like these cards only do anything when you're popping off. You already win almost every time when you're popping off. So it's just like I just don't understand. These cards are extremely situational. Yeah, and the situation is winning in a turn where you would like almost always win anyways. At the first league of Sarah Powder Zugo, we started off stream 3-1 and we finished on stream 4-1, and then we 3-2 the second league. So 7-3 overall, although a lot of those were off stream. All right, so if they win either of these flips, they get to ultimate the Rao. They hit another Manamorphose and another Rin's Resolve over here. They did lose both the flips. You know, I guess one thing that maybe could have happened is they just would lose enough flips that they would have died to 3 munitions tokens. That's so hard to like play towards, though. They keep a card on top. They lost the flip again. Okay, they won this flip. And there's a Wish. Now they don't have a Mana Battery in play anymore. They do hit a Grape Shot. They target my Tormod's Crypt. Let's let the Surveil resolve first, I guess. They can also kill my Weapons Manufacturing. I'm probably dead. I wish it was a little bit easier to see like what cards they could play here and which cards they can't. In my experience, Retract is very good at clearing creatures while letting you preserve your ability to dump into Narset Song later. It's not meant to be a win more card. Okay, Retract is good at clearing creatures. So could you expand on this point? Returning munitions circle them. Yeah, I know it does that. It doesn't seem to be like you also have Claws of Gix for like kind of value munition tokens. Retracts is 1 mana, return all artifacts you control to their owner's hand. So what does when you say it's good for clearing creatures, what does that mean? I know that it's good with manufacturing, but we also have claws and explosives to already have value manufacturing games. You know, it's like it doesn't feel like we need more manufacturing enablers. I do think Retract can be good, or sorry, Repeal. I think Repeal can be good. This hand is a land top deck away from a possible turn 2 kill on the play, or a Mox Opal. I don't think I can afford to mulligan this. We could also maybe draw a Springleaf Drum and win on turn 3. They literally just mean with manufacturing. Okay, so so they mean with manufacturing you can clear the board. I mean you can also do this just with claws and explosives, but thank you for. I just wasn't sure what you meant. I think we have like 20-ish outs to kill turn 2. Okay. Now we do have to hit a 0 off of our first trigger though. And I guess, also after that. Okay, so we don't have another land to play, but we do have 2 more opals in the deck. We also made brick. Staying alive. Like yield, please. I'm okay. Sorry if it bothers you. I just like to make sure I'm taking my time here. If you're already drawing your whole deck, is there a reason manufacturing is better than Thoracle? Well, Thoracle is really weird, where it's like you have if it's in like your bottom cards, it just doesn't work. And then you also like so you don't. What's nice about manufacturing is you don't need Song of Creation to win. Like Narset Song is going to be enough resources to kill. Even sometimes by itself, it's enough to kill if you just like draw 2 of them. And they both seem to be pretty deterministic. It also makes you like more resilient to stuff like Wrath Disguise sometimes. Wrong Mox. So we do need our last Mox Opal to not be in the bottom 2 again. I think if this keeps happening, which maybe it does, maybe we just do need to play 1 Noxious Revival. Although there's the Mox Opal. Again, not very likely. How many munitions do I have? I only have 6? No, there's 10 more over here. I was like, how could that be? All right, turn 2 win. We would have won. We won on turn 3, game 1, and then we would have won turn 3. Then we died on turn 3 because we were on the draw. Then we won on turn 2 on the play. Got a mulligan. Deck mulligans pretty well. I think we can try to keep these. More like 15 years ago? No, I don't think it was when Twin was banned. That wasn't 15 years ago. I wasn't 17, 16. Is bomb a consideration? Same as E, cost 2, but you could play it before going off. Not needing to fight over Moxen. Wait. No, E is better to play before you go off because it costs 0. I think you got a wire crossed or something. I'm gonna choose to surveil turn 1 instead of playing the Bauble turn 1. I remember having read an article somewhat recently by Carson where he mentioned having Modern as turn 4 as the fundamental turn. I think turn 3 or turn 2 is definitely the fundamental turn, although it's a little bit abstract. It was before Twin was banned. I thought that the turn 4 meme or turn 4 thing, whatever you want to call it, I thought that was in the Splinter Twin ban article. That's where that quote comes from. Might be misremembering. So I'm just going to play the Bauble. I don't think there's much reason to play any more zeros because I could draw another manufacturing. Wouldn't we agree that we don't want turn 2 to be the fundamental turn? Yeah, Modern has a lot of problems. I absolutely agree. With the thesis, if the thesis is, does Modern have a lot of problems right now, the answer is certainly yes. I mean, if I knew that they're Eldrazi, I would have mulliganed this hand, I guess. Should be a good matchup overall, even if we do take the L this game. What in my opinions are the problems Modern has? I don't think it's super fair for me to list every problem Modern has right now, but yeah, I'm just not going to. But I'm sure we'll cover them all later. I think I'm gonna save 1-0 for Song of Creation. Maybe should be saving a little bit more than that. I guess I'm gonna sack the breeding pool. The biggest problem is that Mage 3 made it into a rotating format. No comment. Just asking if the format feels wide open with diversity of play patterns. Yeah, I think Modern is good, but it's full of problems too. It's kind of a weird paradox. Like I think there's a lot of things that would improve the format, and there's a lot I don't currently like about it. But Modern has also never been a perfect format. It's never been a format without a lot of problems. In the entirety of the time. Oh, with your song. In the entirety of the time I've been playing, like there's never been a time where I'm just like, yeah, this is perfect. It has always been a format with a lot of problems. So 4 opals in the deck. Okay. So we have kind of bricked here. I guess with the Ambers in the deck, we could still combo off, actually. We need to draw another weapons before too long, though. Okay, now we have bricked. How many weapons do we have left in the deck? Still have 2. So we'll stack the triggers like this. So we discard our Song of Creation hand first. And then we draw a new hand with Narset. Many people are complaining about Image and playing a deck with no Image. Wait, is this deck actual no Modern Horizons cards? No Modern Horizons cards in the 75. Let's freaking go. Okay, so they are only at 6, so we don't have to do too much to get them. Wait, they dismembered my Narset after they let the trigger happen. Oh, I guess I should have chump blocked. Whatever. Okay. Well, it's a fun card for them to have played here. I probably should not have discarded this Narset, I guess. So here's another Song of Creation. What a game. Okay, we need weapons before we run out of cards. We have 2 left in the deck, and we need to make 3. Okay, there's 1. Okay, we only need to make 2 more weapons here. We should have lethal. I think they haven't conceded yet. We have lethal mana in play already. Might as well make it a little bigger. This might be the first deck I've played. I don't think I've ever played a deck with actual 0 Modern Horizons cards on stream, period. Because I started streaming in Modern Horizons 1. I remember that kind of famously, that one, the Mirror Retriever Grinding Station. What was our nickname for that deck? How am I forgetting? Anviltron. The Anviltron deck had 1 Altar of Dementia in the sideboard as just like a backup grinding station that you could Karn for, but that was the only Modern Horizons card. But besides that, I can't really recall playing a deck with actual 0. Okay, so let's bring in Flood Maw for Trinisphere Karn. I don't think we want the Prismatic Endings. I think I'm going to trim an Amber and 2 Claws. No, Prismatic Ending! No! Okay. Over it. Okay, sorry about that. Had to pee. Alright, mulliganing. Going to 5 on the draw against Eldrazi Tron. Happy to have won that game 1, because it looks like we're going to 4 here. Alright, I'm going to keep 3 lands and a Song of Creation. My opponent is keeping a 7-card Devourer hand here. Yeah, I mean, I need zeros for the combo kill. I don't think that one's much better or worse than another one here. I feel when you'll never KCI munitions token. You could do that in Legacy, maybe. Commander. Sorry about that. But you 2 guys still trying to make the shorts. I had a separate editor for the shorts. I haven't worked with her for a little bit, although I do want to work with her on some of the non-Magic projects I'm working on next year sometime. But yeah, I've not been paying for shorts. They cost a lot and they lost a lot of money. And that's creation, baby. But it's nice. We have at least like a couple dozen out there, so it's good just to have some out there, I think. You don't edit shorts, it's called tailoring. Pretty good. Of the 5-color pie. We were 7-3 overall with the deck, although we started 3-0 off stream, so I guess we were 4-3 on stream. So nothing too crazy, but I am really liking Serum Powder Goive. Alright, they put 3 on top, 2 on the bottom. Probably gonna lose to Karn. E the spawns. We could E the spawns, yeah. Although if they sack them now, we might not have the chance. Alright, let's go to game 3. On the play. I hate Tron making a resurgence. I like that Tron is making a resurgence. It is so much easier to like break the ice and White Orchid Phantom and just have Field of Ruins in your deck against Tron than it was against the Eldrazi deck. The deck is so much weaker to hate that I really enjoy when the linear decks like Like, do you want to choose to play a bunch of Charmalls in your sideboard today? You're gonna have a great time when you see when you see this matchup. You know, I think that it's good when linear decks get hated out, and then it also leads to fun metagame evolution. It's always been my philosophy, but I do think that Tron being popular again is a sign of is a promising sign for the health of Modern. Okay, on the play. Well, this hand could win the game on turn 2. So I think I need to look at my top card, and if it's a land, I'm not going to go for the turn 2 kill. Turn 3 should be fine. I just need to like kind of guarantee that. Okay, it is a land. A tap land is fine, I guess. Doesn't really change anything. Be pretty devastating if they have turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. Although maybe we'll get Thought-Knot Seer bugged. We haven't played the Tezzeret Monument deck yet. I do want to get to that at some point this week. I'm pretty excited about it. But it's good. It's good. We got a lot of irons in the fire. We have a lot of exciting decks we're working on at the moment. Trying to take my time with them too. All right. All right, off to a fast 2-0 start, beating Storm and beating Tron. They're 2-2, last seen playing Simic midrange. So if they're still playing this, this matchup's kind of a nightmare. Very weird matchup spread today. My opponent's gonna roll to 6. I'm gonna go to 5. Not the best 5. Okay, retract would be good here. Maybe I'm wrong about retract. I don't know. Was the Zugwolf deck did pretty reasonably. I think we're 7-3 overall. I guess we're just hoping to draw a land and stick a song. They hit a Coiling Oracle. I mean, they're so likely to have 0 mana counter magic that I don't really know how we're we should tap land, but I guess I'll keep land. Yeah, I think yeah, but it looks promising, and like specifically, like this is something that's really important when you're testing stuff. That can kind of sometimes you can forget this, but like when you're testing new stuff, it is really important that like the new idea that you're testing looks good. Like it's way more important that like the powder Goyf stuff looked really powerful to me. Like that's a more important dynamic than our record overall. Our record overall doesn't even matter as much as like was powder Goyf looking strong, and I think it was. Well, I don't think this is going to resolve, especially with them pausing there. I guess maybe doing this now is bad because they could have a third hedge maze. We do get to gain a life. So best draw, I guess, is just another song or a Narset. We do have another agent, which they hit. We do have 4 Veil of Summers in the sideboard, so we don't need to be too scared of all the counter spells post board. The way I look at retract is kind of like an EE. That's a finisher like EE, but if you also have a 1 mana, if you have the 1 mana to cast it, you basically never brick. So one thing is I have not bricked yet, but yeah, it is possible retract is playable. I guess we'll just go to game 2 actually. I didn't test it, there's only so many hours in the day, I guess. Maybe 1 Amber. Minus a Claws, minus an Explosives. Haven't seen opponent's deck as a new Brew or Ultra deck. It's a bit older. I think that the first drafts started seeing play on this channel actually, and then it's become a little bit of like a fringe strategy. But yeah, it's an old Brew that started here. But there's been like lots of innovations from other players too, so I don't want to take too much credit. We have a Veil of Summer. I think that we got to keep this one. Veil of Summer Mox Opal hand with plenty of mana. Imri isn't playable in this deck, I think. I think it's slow. It's nice that it would let you play more Ambers, but also makes you weaker to removal. You're going to brick more often. But you know, if you're going to suggest something like Imri, if you think it does fit, you know, you could be right. I'd just love to hear what you would cut for it. Yeah, Simic Ritual is really weak to Boros. I do wonder if Quantum Riddler changes that dynamic much. I do think Riddler is really good in the Simic Ritual shell. We did we play? I don't know if we played Simic Ritual with Riddler or not. Actually, does anybody remember? Okay. Does it really matter too much? Yeah, it's very tough to play Narset and Song of Creation and Saga. I think it's not really. It might be fine because the Saga ends up getting you like colored mana anyways, but then you're like fetchable density is weird. It could be good for a nice plan B. I don't think it's the most important either way, I guess. All right, so there's a Birthing Ritual. I guess it's nice that we have the mountain that we can cast stuff through a Harbinger. I think I have explosives on 2. Can't you play Emissary? I don't think Emissary does much in this build. Like, I think it's too many payoffs, I say as I'm dying to draw a payoff. Like 12 payoffs feels like a pretty good number. I don't without like card draw that like Thoughtcast and Thought Monitor, like your Emissary turns are like not going to be as strong, and like maybe Emissary plus Narset's pretty good, but I don't feel like we want to play like 16 payoffs either. I could be wrong. This matchup does seem like a nightmare. Would you play any other 5 or 6 drops if I played Riddler and Ritual? I don't think the thing is, so you don't have to, because you like I think just being able to I guess we play another explosives control. So could Veil this. I think it's they don't have lethal in play anymore, so I think instead we're just gonna try to top deck Song and save the Veil for the Song. And then, you know, maybe if they had another Oculus here, we're dead. But we were dead to that anyways. Thopter block. I think I'd rather just save it for Song of Creation trigger, since we're just on a 2-turn clock anyways. I like blocking this turn versus next turn is just the same amount of death. Tough matchup anyways. Not the worst matchup to have. Your draws fall apart, I guess. That might be fine. It also might be just good to just splash a color too. So I think there's a lot of different ways you could do it. Love to draw a Mox Opal. So I do think the 1-mana flicker or like I think Simic Ritual in general, it's like how good do you think Harbinger of the Seas is? Because if you don't think it's that good, then you probably want to play something closer to like the Bant Birthing Ritual deck that we were playing. Back-to-back counterspell matchups might be pretty rough here. It does seem like we're probably just gonna have to jam. Oh, they're playing something. Riddler? Okay. So hopefully no subtlety. Oh, baby. We're going to draw 6 cards off Narset. I guess they have Solitude, actually. Just read, just read, just read. You may read. Is there a blue flicker that doesn't get hit by the Cascade guy? They have the freaking subtlety. I mean, you don't have to play Shardless Agent either. There is an interesting in Simic Ritual. You can cut Agent and you get to play like Spell Snare or the Stern Scolding. You get to play you can play Counter Spell too if you don't play it. So like, I think it is kind of interesting to not play the Agent. I remember we were playing Agent back in the day, but I do think it can be kind of interesting. A lot of control today. I'm going to play this first, so if it gets countered, we still have all of our triggers here. We don't have any green men at the moment. This may be a bit awkward. They find land number 3. They might tap out for a Teferi. We drew another Narset. Alright, if you have another 0 mana interactive spell, congratulations. I'm going to try to draw 5 cards. Alright, trigger on the stack. Draw 5. Nice. My BF has been playing Simic Ret, first caught on, tried a version without Agent and hate it. Yeah, I do think Agent is good, but it just like it isn't mandatory. And if you play, and like one thing that you could do is you could cut Agent for Riddler. So I don't feel super strongly as someone who hasn't been playing the archetype much lately, but just trying to talk it through with y'all, I guess. Wait, they bounced the Claws? Probably should have sacked the Claws then. And then the Prismatic Ending. So hopefully they just don't have a Force of Negation. I drew another song. This was looking pretty dire. Now it's looking pretty... What's the opposite of dire? Surely I could find a better word than good. I have a Sacred Foundry, right? Yeah. Oh, Fire. Yeah, Fire is pretty good. Alternate word there. So, still have all the other opals in the deck, right? We have lethal now, but let's just go ahead and go a little bit bigger just in case they like solitude their own solitudes. Not really anything else besides that can happen, I guess. This is 22 damage, 24 damage. Do you just lose to the Eldrazi aggro matchup? This deck? I mean, our deck can kill on turn 2. I'm not super scared of Eldrazi aggro. I mean, the Eldrazi aggro deck is like the worst deck in Modern that people play. I don't know. I'm always so happy when I run into that one. It's just, I just know it's gonna be a good time. They have main deck Chalice. I mean, main deck Chalice is good. We do have prismatic endings for it, and explosives that can deal with it. Oh, I guess we don't have colorless mana to spend. No, never mind. I guess we could try to preemptively, if we're on the play explosives on turn 1. Or like Veil of Summer. I guess that's not going to happen. Do we lose the Pithy Needle? We have... I guess we would just have to Claws of Gix our way out of it. We could also bring in, answers, of course. Hey, this is a nice hand. This is maybe a turn 2 kill. We also have a Veil of Summer. Need pinning for Stony. I think I'm okay. I think that you're a lot of times as control. I would think that you're building your deck. You're building your deck without a lot of lock pieces, and I don't know if they have Stony Silence and or if they have Clarion Conqueror, or if they have like the High Noon, but they might just have none of these cards right now. I don't really know, so I'm kind of just comfy just bringing in the Veils. And then if we see specific cards for game 3, we can do that. They don't have the card Counterspell up. Should I just be going for the song here? I would have to discard my hand. I think I'm gonna play this first. Okay, I like that ate the Celestial Purge. Now, do I play the drum? Playing drum is really good if I draw another 0-mana creature, and I do have a lot of those in the deck. I think I might as well play the Opal. I would Veil in response to Teferi here, and if I draw a land, I'm gonna be playing Veil. I'm gonna be playing the land and going Song with Veil up at pre-Opal anyways. Okay, and they did have the Teferi. So we cycled the Veil, I think. What's the argument against Retract? Okay, give me an argument for Retract by saying I would cut this card for Retract. I don't really like conversations when they're like, why? It's just a classic why no, Spike. Why no this card without any suggestion on what you would add cut for it. I just think the deck is meaner and leaner and cleaner, and you need a lot of zeros in the deck, and this build gets to play as many zeros as possible. I guess I actually need to play Narset this turn because I'm gonna have to discard my Narset if I play the song. Cut 4th claw. Okay, you can cut the 4th claw for Retract if you want to. I think that's okay. I just haven't tested it. This build's been going well off stream. It is a card you can play. I agree. 3 cards in their hand. I do think we are jamming. Well, Flubs instead of Narset. I don't know what Flubs is, but I'm down to read a card, I guess. Have I tried anything with Tamashi Bloom and weapons? No, I mean, there could be something there. You may play an additional land on each of your turns whenever you play a land or cast a spell. Draw a card if you have no cards in your hand. Otherwise, discard a card. I think I might be going to game 2. I guess we'll give it like a draw step. Hand was so strong. Okay, and not being modern legal makes it easier. The decision point. Wait, did they not rebound the Ephemerate to draw a card? Right. Game 3. Benny with the 5-pack. Thank you so much. If you got a gifted stuff from Benny, make sure to thank him. We're going to game 3. It's control. Played against a lot of control lately. Well, hard to mulligan double Veil of Summer, so that's not. I'm gonna say so you can play this main week. Nice. Glad you're liking it. Been a fun build for sure. I do think I want to try to like bait a counterspell on the manufacturing so I can use one of my 2 Veils. Dude, I'm distraught about your retracted machine. Yeah, I mean, it could be it could be correct to play. I think it's the kind of card that, like, I'm really nervous about drawing multiple copies early. I'll take the retract into consideration some more. Purge is pretty gnarly here. I was thinking about just casting a Veil of Summer here to get them to counterspell it. I think that's probably a little greedy. I think we just lead on a Veil this turn, and then if it resolves, we can resolve the song. And if not, I think we just wait. Is this list better than Cheerios? Definitely better than Cheerios, but that's not a very high bar to clear, unfortunately. I guess we could get the combo going. Really awkward if they kill my drum here. For some reason, I was thinking I just wanted to like drum and pass. But I can go Ornithopter, Opal, then Amber to start the loop, maybe. So I think we need to jam. Okay, so a little bit of good news, bad news here. Oh, no, it's all just bad news. Dang. Sorry, I don't know. I pivoted plans mid-turn there, and it really got me. Maybe they don't have any counter magic if they are just wear tearing there, although it's unlikely that their hand is super bad if they just play the Otawara like this. Probably not beating the kick consult, sadly. Am I retracting my statement about retract? I don't know. I'm open to playing it. It's just something that I'd have to try off stream, and beyond that, it's just always theory crafting, I guess. Oh, well, I mean, it's kind of actively good if they bounce my Opal. I think we'll just kind of jam and then hope for the best. We could have played a little bit better, but it does seem like a very tough matchup, especially when they have all these disputes. I think we'll just even keep it moving here. Have to run into back-to-back mono counterspell decks. Have the quad Veil of Summers, but pretty tough to get through. Okay, they're on a mold to 6. I'm on a mold to 6. Now I'm on a mold to 5. I don't know if y'all could hear that knocking. I think it's just a solicitor. They always knock so annoyingly. It's just like they're your best friend. It's the most annoying shit ever. All right, keeping this on 5. I'm gonna surveil and see if my top card is Narset. It's not. So now let's see if it is again. It is. All right. I knock like that. I think it's like fine to knock like that if you know the person, and I don't know. Could y'all hear that? I don't. You know, if you know the person and you're coming over and you're invited, but when you like and they hit a flare off the Oracle fun, and then it's just the most annoying shit ever. Yeah, I may have never played Garuda on stream. I remember there was a time I was trying to play the 2-mana blue artifact. That like you can sack a 0 and you can get a Lotus Bloom. I was trying to play that with Garuda for a little bit. Yeah, Reshape. I was trying to play Reshape Garuda for a little bit. opponent lost connection, and then they have now rejoined. All right, very excited for this Narset turn. Sad to dump another Narset, I guess. Kenny Darko with the 27 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Let's draw 4. Didn't find a song. I think we're playing at Scape Shift. I think Dingo played like Teamer Scape Shift the other day, right? There's a Valakut. So we may be like a turn too slow if they like play Grazer at another land and just cast Scape Shift next turn. We do get 2 more draws, looking for a Song of Creation though this turn. We do get to draw 6 cards. Maybe they have Flare. I think I'm going to kill both their things. So if they do have a Flare for next turn, then I guess they have the Grazer, but also get my attack in. Yeah, but I think we're dead to land, Grazer, Scape Shift. Or that might be 18 damage. I think that's 18. We're at 19, huh? Thank you, Claws of Gix. All right, looks like we also might just have lethal next turn. Yeah, we should just have lethal next turn now. Grazer isn't blue. A Flare of Cultivation. The other Flare. The one that they've cast this game. They probably have the blue Flare in their deck too. But I was thinking about both. Vidalcan Archmage. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, draw a card. That one is kind of interesting. Narset being 3 mana is so nice though. And Narset counts herself too. Okay, so I guess we're dead to landscape shift now. Good sign for me that they're going after the Narset. I think I might as well gain a life here. I need this extra mana anyways. I guess I don't. Gain a life. If you ever registered Archmage, you'd be so hyped. It wouldn't be, it's not that bad an idea in this build. I mean, drawing 1 card instead of 2 is, that is a lot less. So tap Steam Vents. They go after my Ornithopter, which is, again, great news. So I have 2 munitions tokens in play with the ability to make 6 more. Okay. No Narset, no Song of Creation in play. Shout out to the Thassa's Oracle. It's a gesture from earlier. Go to game 2. I have thought about Mycon's Golem some. I've seen it many times as I pass along my Modern Legal Ugins lab hits that I scroll through. Artifact lands do trigger weapons manufacturing, so sometimes we play Dark Soul Citadel in these builds. Anybody watch Dingo stream last night? Did he have like Collector Roof in his board? Maybe I went Veil of Summer for Counter Magic. I only tuned in for a little bit. I should have watched my good friend Young Dingo a little bit longer. I think let's just try to hedge against Counter Magic. Dingo's on a very different version. Okay. I remember seeing Planar Genesis. I remember him hitting a land off of it that I was like, you should have taken something else. But then I unsubbed. Alright, opponent's on a mold of 6, we're on the draw. Yeah, I know. Yeah, Tutors likes Scape Shift a lot. That's true. All right, surveilling off of a commercial district. I think I want random 0 right now. It's weird that there was an Ice Till Valakut list in the challenge after release and hasn't been seen again. Yeah, I've been kind of wanting to do like Free Strider Valakut with Ice Till and Ghost Quarters, but I've been struggling a little bit on like exactly what that deck would look like, I guess. I think Ice Till kind of competes with Amulet Titan. Yeah, to some extent, there's kind of an interesting dynamic where the Ice Till decks, for the most part, are Ghost Quarter decks. And so being a Ghost Quarter deck, like recurring Ghost Quarter gives you like a lot of game against Amulet Titan. So it's not like they do kind of attack from different and similar angles at the same time. All right, so I think we just play another weapons, and the next turn hope to be alive. Okay, love that they're flaring this. Hope to be alive and cast the Song of Creation. I see the version with Edge Rover, Grazer, and Flare. Not Edge Rover. What is that card? A lot of cards I have had to look up today. Oh, this card. I hate this card. As creature dice, each player makes a land or token. I think this card sucks. Maybe I'm wrong. Can I bait you to looking at my Strict Proctor, Ice Till, Lotus Field, Free Strider deck? You say this. I just kind of have a mental image of the whole hand, the whole deck in my head, I suppose. I do think Strict Proctor, Lotus Field, like Lotus Field, entering untapped with Ice Till, and you can like replay it. That does seem kind of cool. An interesting thought for sure. Got Nature's Claim? Doesn't look like it. Think we're probably gonna get there. I really like that Proctor kind of savages the Blink energy decks. I mean, savaging the Galvanic Discharge, Fatal Push decks are kind of hard to do, but it's good. I think it's good. I don't want to. Not trying to be too negative. Looks like we are going to win this game, and for a nice 3-2. 3-2, slow and steady, winning the race, I guess, today. They haven't conceded. They know how the combo works. I just wonder, like, is there any way that they could just gain a bunch of life here? Yeah, I don't know why they sack Dryad to the Flare. Yeah, very fast league. All right, GG's. Yeah, our deck is pretty weak to weather the storm. No joke. Yeah, fast deck, for sure. Does the deck have any real grind potential? You have sub with Narset and manufacturing. Not for the most part, no. You're a storm deck. Okay, cool. Love when engineered explosives is our win condition. I think it's time to pivot back into Cube. I had a lot of fun. I think this is kind of the while Cube is legal. I really enjoy playing it. It's a fun.